world famous swag in the morning. I'm your brother Prince Creed.
And I'm Lady D.
Lady D, before we get into this amazing guest. Yeah, I said it 2 times. Amazing. You get another one. Amazing guest. Tell everybody what swag means.
Swag means saved with amazing grace.
And guess what? Morning do not mean daytime. In our arena, it means new hope, new beginning, freedom for being in the darkness. And this episode, we're going to bring you into a clay light. Did I say that? A clay light.
Yeah, you said it.
Oh, okay. God, you looking at me like, hey, yeah, I'm extra hype. I'm a super hype.
I see.
If y'all been following us, you've been seeing me. I've been posting this promo clip of Clay Aiken. For those young folks who don't know who Clay is, Clay invented the American Idol. He he was the little old kid, and he said it, not me, skinny old little kid, who was going to be a PE teacher or some type of teacher, right?
He was on the road somewhere else. I don't know. We gotta find out how he ended up where he ended up.
And then this singing contest changed his life. You gotta see that. You gotta hear his animation. A very, very good guy. He's a father. He's an artist. He's a politician. He's a man who loves the heaven out of his state. I said heaven. I was going to say the other word, H, but he loves his state of North Carolina. And let me tell you something. If y'all see that thing ticker on the bottom, support Clay Aiken is his name. That's coming to the stage. The stage is yours. I'm going to give him a lot of hand claps, and I'm not going to clap. This machine is going to do all the clapping. So put your doggone hands together for the amazing, the gifted, the incredible, our new cousin, Clay Aiken.
Oh, look at that crowd. Y'all have a big crowd over there with you. I need to take you around with me to introduce me everywhere. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Sit down. You can be seated now. You can be seated. Sit down. Look, don't come over here. Clay.
He uses his imagination very well.
Yes.
So Clay, how have you been doing? I mean, matter of fact, let's start here. How have you been handling and maintaining during this pandemic?
I think I've handled it relatively well, simply because I don't leave my house a lot anyway. So it was sort of normal for me, but as you can see, I had to get good lighting in the office here. Since we spend all our time on video conferences, I had to make sure I didn't look old. Most people remember me at 24 years old, and let's just leave it at I'm not 24 anymore. It's been 20 years since I did Idol. So I know, right? See, that gets that same reaction. Yeah.
Well, you're bending the buttons, man. You're aging backwards because I don't see what you see.
It's because of the lighting. It's because of these bright lights. The brighter I get them, the less you see the wrinkles.
Lady D, put that light over here on me. Lady D. Now I see what Clay talking about.
Okay. Looks good.
All right.
You don't need good lighting. You're set. You look young. Y'all got the gray hairs and everything. So that's a challenge for me, getting people to remember that it's been 20 years since Idol happened, and I've done a whole bunch since then. That hasn't necessarily just been about singing as a skinny little 24-year-old on TV.
You had a lot of heart, man. And you know what's so crazy about it? I didn't know who to root for. You are Ruben. And when it turned out the way it turned out, and by the way, you guys are like super cool, right?
Yeah, we're actually texting right now. He's coming to Durham next weekend to help out with the campaign. He's going to do a performance here in Durham for the campaign. So yes, we've been like brothers since the day we met. It's crazy. We became really good friends even before we got onto the show. We met each other in the Hollywood Week thing and just connected. And I think we connected with a rivalry. He, as much as I love North Carolina, he loves Alabama just as much. And so we connected with a little friendly rivalry between our two states. I don't think I've ever known anybody who loves where they're from as much as me until I met him. So we connected with that rivalry and our differing opinions on what good barbecue is. And we stayed friends ever since. And we were tight before we even got to the final 2, and we've stayed the same since.
I love it. Awesome. I love that connection. Awesome. I love it. So So my music, see, look, I want to get into the music stuff, but there's a lot of important things that's going down with you that I just put that music. I already know about your music. I know about your songs. I followed your songs. Look, so I'm not even going to go there.
It's been a long time. Most of that stuff's so out of style now. It's on the oldies station these days.
Just told you my age. Yeah, I'm telling my age, folks.
He said the station though.
Oh, he said,
I'm on the oldies station.
No, you're not. Oh, yeah, well, that's my station.
There you go.
So, Lady D, I found out, well, before that, but you research a lot. So you found out he's a father.
Ah, yes.
I'm excited about that. So how is that experience? Because I a lot of daughters.
Well, I have a son, and it's very rewarding. He is now a teenager.
Oh, wow.
He's 13, which brings with it interesting challenges and new lessons every day, right?
Every day.
Okay.
Every day. We're getting to the place where we have to remind, not to tell too much of his business. We got to remind, we got to take a shower every day now. We don't get to do it every few days like we used to. So it's fun. It's a new challenge having a teenager.
Yeah, he sounds normal.
Normal,
Yeah,
like
he's normal.
I had a teenager also. She's in college now, and do you still consider her a teenager? No, she's 19.
No,
she's an adult now, 19.
I consider her an adult. Don't let her think she's still a teenager.
Well, to me,
but don't let her think she's an adult yet either.
Yes, to me, she's not even
to dad. She's not going to be an adult for a long time.
Never.
Not to me. Still my baby girl. So I know that had to be a really change in your life in reference to your singing career. So how did this transition take place? Like, because Clay, I was looking for the next album. We said albums. Back that we didn't have iTunes.
Now they don't have. Yeah, we had 8-tracks when I was younger. I'm kidding. 8-tracks, cassettes, records, all that, CDs. Yeah. No, I've always been interested in and followed politics, but I think we've had, the country's had a rough go of it the past 5 years or so. And I think we've all been pretty disturbed with some of the division and some of the stuff that we've seen from politicians over the past 5 years. And I've been lucky in my life that the representative who's represented me here in North Carolina has just been really sort of a outlier. He's a standout who actually doesn't behave like some of the fools we see in Washington these days. And he's done a really great job, but he's been there for 35 years and he's decided to retire from Congress. And when you have been in Congress for 35 years, you have a lot of pull and you've got a lot of ability to bring attention to your district and the needs of the people that you're in your home. And first-term members don't always have that unless they have a microphone and a platform and are able to get attention for the needs of the people in their district a different way. And I just recognized that I had this platform and this ability to get people to pay attention to the needs of Durham. And the needs of the parts of North Carolina around Durham. So I decided to use the platform that these folks here gave me to kind of try to give back to them.
Okay. So my question is, okay, so we see you, some of us, most of us, or all of us, met you on American Idol, and now we see you here. Can you tell us now? I always like to know, is this, being in politics, is that something that you thought about doing as, when you were younger? Is this a dream of yours? Are you walking it out, or did it just something that sprung on you? You saw a need and you wanted to fill it.
Well, I always was I've gotten very interested in politics when I was 8th grade. So I've been very interested in it for a long time. And I've told people if we could find my old computer when I was in 8th grade, I imagine I probably made some posters in Print Shop. Remember Print Shop and the little spool of paper that came out connected to each other? You had to peel the edges off. I'm sure I made some campaign posters when I was in 8th grade for my congressional race one day. Obviously, it wasn't what I planned on doing with my life. I was a special ed teacher before I did Idol. I worked with kids with autism, and a lot of the kids who I worked with during the school year weren't able to go to the summer camps and after school programs that I also worked at the YMCA.
Okay.
And I would have students of mine who actually wanted to go to the summer camp that I worked in the summer, but weren't allowed to because the YMCA didn't have the ability to bring in kids with disabilities and couldn't work with them. So after Idle, I actually talked a little bit about that and talked about how frustrated I was that kids with disabilities got left out of those programs, and
Right.
said I wanted to start an organization to help train kids help train programs to include kids with disabilities. And because I talked about it, a lot of attention. I got a lot of attention from people who wanted to help. And I started getting donations to this organization that didn't even exist. And by the end of the summer after Idle, I had $50,000 worth of donations that had been made out to this organization to include kids with disabilities. And so I decided, let's make this a real thing. Let's actually do the work and help train programs. So we started off by training some programs here in North Carolina, one in the Triangle, one in Charlotte. And over the last 19 years, we've grown that. And
Mhm.
we have trained after school programs, summer camps, et cetera, to include kids with disabilities. So we teach them how to include kids in their programs. We write the curriculums for them. We train them to include kids with disabilities. We provide resources, and now we accredit them. We got programs in 36 states. So
Wow.
trying to use the platform that I have to get people to pay attention to some important needs has been something that I've been working on trying to do for the last 20 years. And so this is sort of a natural progression of that for me.
Awesome. That's going to have me segue right into the question I already had for you in reference to this organization. I actually started following you guys, your organization. Let's talk about the name of this organization and how people can sow and how they can donate and how they can support, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So we it started out being called the Bubal Aiken Foundation. It was named after the lady who talked me into auditioning for American Idol. I worked with her son, who has autism. She talked me into it. I named the organization after her and her son, and myself. And then we slowly, as we began to recognize that we were going to have the ability to bring our efforts national and make it nationwide, we changed the name to the National Inclusion Project. So people can find out more about us at inclusionproject.org, and how we are working to try to make sure YMCAs, JCCs, Boys and Girls Clubs, a lot of these things that kids go to after school or during the summer when school's out, how kids with disabilities can be included into those programs, because children with disabilities learn a lot. They get a lot from being included around kids without disabilities. They don't feel left out. And then kids without disabilities learn about empathy, and they learn about how to care for people who are different than themselves when they're included with kids with disabilities. So it's just been a really incredible and successful and a real blessing to be able to see the program grow as much as it has. But inclusionproject.org is how people can find out more.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Wow. You have your, I love the fact that if you're not doing, I always say too much. Like, my thing and our method is that we have to do too much. And a lot of people look at that as like, that's crazy. You should never want to do too much. You know, the little saying that you're doing too much. So I salute you in all the things you're doing and all the things you have been through, the road, the journey that you have been through. And I know the challenge of you coming out, I'm going to say it that way, right? And now you're entering in the arena of all these homophobic, what do you say? Am I saying it right there? Yeah, which I hate. I hate anybody that hates somebody, that dislikes somebody, that got something bad to say about somebody. So I don't like them. Yeah, I said it. I fight them with you, Clay.
Well, listen, I tell people all the time, I became a Democrat. I became a Democrat. I was in 8th grade, but everybody in and so I didn't register or anything, but everybody in my class when I was in 8th grade was supporting George Bush or Ross Perot. And there were just 2 or 3 of us in the entire 8th grade class who were following and cheering for and rooting for Bill Clinton and Al Gore back in 92. And I've been asked by people a lot of times why I'm a Democrat. And I said, I don't think I realized, I didn't know when I was in 8th grade that I was gay, but I knew that I wanted to be with the party, with the group that accepted people where they are, that supported people as they were, didn't care if you were a man or a woman, whether you were black, white, brown, purple, green, etc. Didn't care if you were straight or gay or Christian or Jewish or Muslim. That's what the Democratic Party has always been. And so, I'm blessed to be a part of a party that embraces and accepts people as they are. And yeah, we have seen a lot of the opposite of that over the past 5 or 6 years. We've often seen it from the other side of the aisle. I'm not sure that we're perfect on our side either, but we've seen a lot of really hateful stuff, especially here in North Carolina. I don't like to say some of these folks' names because I don't like to give them attention. But we've seen politicians all around the country who don't deserve to be named out loud, acting a fool. And I'm excited. I'm glad that I'm a part of a party and a group of people who have some home training and know how to respect other people and know how to be empathetic and care about the needs of others.
Right. So listen to all our viewers. If you want to know, want to know why we laughing, I need you to go and watch our clip that shows Clay Aiken in his video, his campaign video. You will love it. I mean, I love it. I love it because I get to see the realness. I get to see the transparency. I get to see, the person instead of the politician. I see an individual who has a passion for people and want things to go forward, want people to win, so that's why I love it. So I need everybody who's watching to go and look for that video that's on our page.
It's on the swag in the morning. Yep.
I got to see it. And then you'll know exactly why we're laughing.
Yes.
And then share it with your friends, especially if they live in North Carolina.
And we got a few. Our family is in North Carolina. We have a daughter in Charlotte, goddaughters in Charlotte, a friend in Charlotte, and people in Durham.
Yes.
And
Durham's where we are. So make sure they're voting on May 17th. We don't have long. Early voting starts on Thursday, a week from today. Yeah.
Let's do that again, Clay. Hold on. You caught me off guard. I need you to get you up, just like this is a thing I do called the politician stare into the camera. But now I have a real one right here. Tell them again, Clay, please.
Early voting starts next Thursday, April 28th, and voting is on May 17th. So if you're in Durham, if you're in Orange County, Person County, Granville County, or Alamance County in North Carolina, don't forget to get to the polls.
That's what you heard it right here. And you can also go to Clay Aiken. Let me spell it out for those who may not know. Clay, of course, CLAY, Aiken, AIKEN.com. Make some donations. Let's support this guy. Trust me, you voted for him if you're my age. Okay, yeah, I said it. So now it's time to cast real votes. He deserved to be in that seat in Congress representing North Carolina. And why? Because he cares about North Carolina. He's not even looking, because at the end of the day, he could have did a big concert and had all his little celeb friends.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. But anyway, just have everybody come together and say, you better. I'm looking right in the camera to all my people in Charlotte or Durham County.
Durham,
yeah.
In Durham.
Support Clay. Please.
Please.
We got a few fans that's in the chat here, but the cat got her tongue. Yeah, I'm going to call out Cindy. Cindy didn't watch every episode of American Idol. And I know she's sitting there saying, can I really ask him a question? No, sir. But Clay, lady, you got some more from Mr. Clay?
You know what? One more thing. We're telling people to go out and vote. But what I want you to do is I want you to tell us, what's your cause? I look at a lot of politicians and, they say a lot of things and they say it and then you don't see it. But like I said, when I see your video clip, I know that you are true to your word. You have a compassion for people. So tell them what your purpose, because everybody has a purpose for doing what they're doing. They have that one cause, that one thing that pushes them. So what is it about these people that you want to help? What is it that you want them to know?
Well, I think one of the things that really frustrates, me, I think it frustrates a lot of people, it certainly ticks me off, is that we have done a lot more talking than we have actually getting anything done. I think over the last 5 years, we've seen a lot of that, even from both sides, where we've done more talking and not been prepared for some of the challenges that we could have met or solved right away. So I think about George Floyd's murder in 2020 and the fact that for 2 or 3 months after George Floyd was murdered, we had even politicians on the other side of the aisle who were recognizing that we had a problem with policing in this country, and the fact that Black and brown boys and men were being shot by police at record levels and far more than their white counterparts. And we even had Republicans who were understanding that was an issue. And for months, we had that groundswell of support, and we didn't do anything with it. We changed the names on some buildings. We put some hashtags on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, but we didn't do anything about qualified immunity. We had the groundswell of support to actually do something to get rid of qualified immunity. We could have banned no-knock warrants, but we didn't do that. We could have moved the power of the district attorney in a local area to prosecute the cops. We could have moved that elsewhere, like they had to do in Georgia after Ahmaud Arbery was killed. It had to bring in the Cobb County prosecutors in order to finally get justice. We could have done some things actually that got stuff done, but we didn't. We looked for symbolic social media attention. That's why I roll my eyes about Twitter in the video, because it's given us this possibility. It's made it more likely that nowadays we don't actually get anything done. We tweet about it. That doesn't solve a problem. And so I'm very frustrated by that. I think about voting rights. I ran for office in 2014 because gerrymandering was a problem. Gerrymandering, where politicians are drawing the districts in order to make sure that they win their seats constantly. We knew that was a problem for decades. We've known it was a problem. We've seen states try to mandate voter ID to take people's ability to vote away from them. We've seen them shutting down early voting or moving voting locations. We've seen that for a long time, but nobody tried to do anything about fixing voting rights until 2021. Well, the House is already on fire. In 2021, we can't wait until the House is on fire to finally move. The Voting Rights Act was taken apart and dismantled by the Supreme Court in 2015. When it was dismantled in 2015, we had 6 years to do something about it, and we didn't. We waited until Donald Trump decides to say that the election was rigged and tries to take away people's voting rights. And finally, then we decide, oh, now it's an important issue. It's been an important issue for a long time. And instead of talking about it, we should have done something about it. So I get frustrated, just like you mentioned, with people talking and not, I don't mind activism, but only if it's backed up with real action. So we have done more activism than we've done action. And I think that's put us in a position where our country is really desperately needs some help now, and I hope it's not too late to do that, but we have to stop talking and tweeting and Instagramming, and we need to actually get legislation in place to protect people's rights to vote. We need to get legislation in place to fix our criminal justice system and fix the way policing is done in this country. If abortion, God forbid, is overturned by the Supreme Court this summer, we should have done something about that years ago, while we had an opportunity to pass a law that codified and put Roe v. Wade and Planned Parenthood v. Casey into law. But we've had many opportunities to do it, and now we're just thinking about what might happen when the House is on fire again in June.
You deserve this. Sit down.
Such a crowd you got in that house.
Preaching. You're preaching, brother. You're preaching. I see the passion.
Yeah. You can feel it. You can feel the passion, the passion in the voice. But I love the fact that, to sum it all up, is Clay Aiken is a man who wants to do. He wants to see action done. And I love that. I mean,
Action Clay.
Because, Action Clay. Yes.
I love it.
Action over activism. Activism is fine, but it's got to be backed up with real action.
He wants action. So you've heard it. You've heard it right here. Clay Aiken. Y'all go ahead and vote for him. Please, please, please. Let's get Clay Aiken into the office.
We're going to fight for you from afar. I'm going to pull you into this, so you're going to tell them once again, my brother, what they need to do, where they can support you. And this is a state of emergency That's how serious it is to get Clay into this office, Durham, and you got to back him. This is a state of emergency to get him elected. Clay,
I need to take you everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. You can vote if you live in Durham, Orange County, Granville County, Person County, or Alamance County in North Carolina. The early voting starts on April 28th, and election day is May 17th. If you know somebody in those areas, please tell them about the episode you heard here today. Tell them about the conversation that we've had here on the podcast. Share it with them. Tell them to subscribe and like it too. But share it with them if you know someone who lives in those areas, and have them go check out our website, clayaiken.com.
Clay, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure.
Likewise.
Young man.
Hold on.
I wish I was a young man, but I appreciate it.
You keep fighting for your state. I'm going to tell you something. You're ordained to do this. The voice that God has given you to sing, he's given you another stage, that voice you have was just the vehicle, was the attraction, was the gift box that attracts people to your purpose. Inside of that gift box of yours, which is that vocal, that amazing singing voice, is your purpose. You keep on doing what God is telling you to do, sir. Don't let nobody dictate or deter you from your purpose. And on a swag, when you get on our stage, you a family member. You got the keys to the house, the keys to the Lexus, the Bentley.
That's why you got so many people in the house right now. That's why you got that crowd in there, because you let everybody in.
Sit down. Those are all our cousins now. Clay, we love you to life, and there's nothing you can do about it but love us back. We will continue to fight and push for you, young man, and believe it. That voice, you're going to see the world is getting ready to hear you on a different stage and a different level.
Well, thank you. And thank you both for what you're doing too.
Yours. Any last words?
I thank you guys for what you're doing too. Thanks so much for having me.
You're welcome. The world famous swag in the morning. That was Clay Aiken job.
Yeah.
Aiken. Let me get.
You lose
wow.
your voice?
Yeah, I'm losing my voice. I should have asked Clay if he could hit a little note for me, because Clay was my vocal coach on the low. Yeah. He was helping me with my vocals.
Oh, okay. That's what
Swag in the morning, saved with amazing grace. See the rasp? Swag in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah. We thank y'all for joining us. This was an actual special edition. I know that we normally start at 7, but I had to get Clay on and get him out. Busy schedule. This guy took time out of his busy schedule to talk with us.
Yeah.
So we thank you, Clay, and we will continue to push. Lady, any closing?
I think that it was amazing. So, you know what, if, like he said, if you know anyone that's in the Durham area in North Carolina, please tell them to go, go look it up, go see what he's doing, go, listen to him and find out his cause, and go out and vote. Everybody, you know what, it's time to vote. And he sounds like he's really, really ready to do something. All of the things that he's touched, today made me think, yes, these are the things that are seen and they're talked about, but they're never followed through. So he sounds like he wants to.
I love him. Action, Clay. He's all about
Clay.
Action.
That's it.
Love it. Please go to clayaiken.com right now. That's CLAYAIKEN.com. Make some donations, support his movement. People in the Durham area, Orange County, he named it. Listen, I want y'all to go and support him. He deserved to be in that seat. So this is our time, y'all. We thank y'all for joining us. Again, we're the world famous swag in the morning. I'm your brother, Prince Creek.
And I'm Lady D.
Until next time. I'm sorry, baby. You had it too long.
No.
Okay, let's do it. Lady D.
Forget it.
This is world famous swag in the morning. I'm your brother, Prince Creek.
And I'm Lady D.
Yeah, that was dry ice on the stage. We out of here. We love y'all, folks. Bye. Please, again, support this young man. I say young man. He says he's old.
It's nice.
World famous swag in the morning. We believe it. We thank you.